G'day. 8 of the 10 current Formula One teams have watch sponsors. Which 2 don't? At the end of this video, you'll know. Plus, I'll go into some detail about the watches that I've seen the drivers wear at the track. When? In 8 seconds' time. Let's kick it off with Red Bull for a start. They're sponsored by TAG Heuer. This company has a long history sponsoring Formula One. Started back in the 70s when they sponsored Ferrari and then went to Williams. They started sponsoring Red Bull in 2016 and since then they've launched a number of models in collaboration with Red Bull. Max Verstappen is often seen wearing a Monaco. You can buy one of those watches from anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000 US. There's the TAG Formula One by Red Bull watch, which is priced around $3,300. And I think you'll find that TAG makes the most affordable Swiss-made tourbillon, priced just under $20,000 US. Does Christian Horner wear a tourbillon? No, he doesn't. He wears this Monza Special Edition, which you'll pick up for around $12,000 US. And this was my first high-end watch. I think I bought this going back, well, maybe late 80s. But certainly I spend a lot of time in the paddock and I see some amazing watches. I wish I'd taken a bit more notice of this one, Sylvester Stallone's vintage Daytona Paul Newman. It's one of the most iconic watches of our time. What's it worth? Anyone's guess. Here's a question for you. What percentage of team principals and drivers have their watches set on the exact right time and date? Very few. And here's what I've observed this year thus far. Logan Sargent, a tick for him. I took this at 2:23, which is roughly what his watch says. Lando Norris, close enough. Took this picture at 3:53 and his watch says 3:58. Felipe Drugovich, 2:42 on the 25th. His watch says just about that. I took this picture of the Hulk's Rolex Daytona at 3:04 and that's what his watch says. But I also took a picture of his Audemars Piguet on Saturday, March 18 at 1:34, but his watch said Wednesday, 15th of August, but the time was right. Pierre Gasly took this at 6:49, watch says 1:43. Charles Leclerc, 4:37, watch says 2:41. Lance Stroll at 9:21, his watch says 10:59. Sergio Perez on the 23rd at 2:56, his watch is reading the 18th at 2:54. Alex Albon is out. Zach Brown is out, and Valtteri Bottas is also miles out. Now, why don't they have the time set? Well, these are promotional watches. Most are paid to wear their watches. So what will happen is a trainer or a PR crew member will give them the watch, they'll wear it for a TV interview or after the race, they take it off and it goes back into perhaps a safe spot in the mobile home. So they don't really care about the time, and they certainly don't care about the date. And if anybody happened to wear a perpetual calendar where you've got moon phases, forget it. They are too hard to set. And please don't say it could be because of daylight saving or they've come from another time zone. No, that would be an hour or at very rare instances 30-minute differences, and none of these watches are out by that. Let's jump to Mercedes now, and they have been sponsored by IWC since 2013. They've made a number of special editions for Lewis and the team, including this one, which you've probably seen on the wrist of many of the crew in the team. It's worth around $7,800. And indeed, who gets one of these watches at the team? Well, it's pretty much those people who appear on television. They're the ones that have greater influencing power over the television audience. Another popular IWC watch is the Mojave Desert Edition. These are hard to find, and the base model Mojave Desert Big Pilots is priced around $16,000, only 250 made, but it's the Mojave Desert Perpetual Calendar, priced around $40,000, which I've seen Lewis wearing from time to time at the track. I like IWC a lot. They're clean, good-sized, elegant watches, and I've had this Big Pilots watch for probably 20 years. Ferrari's team sponsor is Richard Mille. Richard sponsors not one, but 2 F1 teams, McLaren and Ferrari. And in the past, they've sponsored Alfa Romeo and Haas. McLaren signed a 10-year deal with Richard Mille in 2016. And what is the average price for one of these big, clunky watches? $200,000. Although if you like this one, which is limited to 75 pieces, you'd be paying just shy of $1 million. Is that their most expensive? No. Ferrari did a collaboration with them recently, which saw this model, which is in fact the thinnest ever mechanical watch, limited to 150 pieces, selling for just shy of $2 million. I photographed Richard Mille at the track a couple of times, and Romain Grosjean always wears his Richard Mille even when he's racing. What do you think of them? I'm not a big fan. I think they're too big and bulky, although they are lightweight. And when I say big and bulky, they're probably not as big and bulky as this model I saw on the wrist of Karl Runefelt. This is a customised Jacob & Co. watch. Karl was wearing this in Bahrain and it really took my eye. What's it worth? Around $900,000. Alfa Romeo has Rebellion as their team sponsor. They were founded in 2008, started sponsoring Alfa Romeo in 2019, and as part of their partnership, they've developed a limited edition watch collection inspired by Alfa Romeo. Both drivers actually get their own signature models. And when I say signature, I mean signature as in they've signed each one. They're limited to 50 pieces and they retail for around 63 grand. But get this, each watch contains actual parts from an Alfa F1 car. Rebellion makes some pretty out there models too. Have a look at this one. It has a power reserve of 1,000 hours. That's huge. Only 50 were made, and the price? A lot. Next up, we'll talk about Williams. Their sponsor is Bremont, which is a British brand for a British team, founded in 2002 and originally specialised in pilots' watches, but they've since expanded that collection to include a number of other professions, including motorsport. They've been sponsoring Williams since 2021, and this is a special edition watch released in partnership with the team. Each one comes with an original wheel nut from a Williams racing car. And you'll get one of these for either $700 to $7,600, depending on which option you choose. Girard-Perregaux sponsors Aston Martin. They're a luxury Swiss watchmaker in their third year sponsoring the team. They've released 3 watches with Aston. The first being this, which retailed for around $21,000. It's sold out. The second is this one, which retails for around 27 grand. And the third watch in this recent collaboration commands a much higher price tag, and you'll see why here. This is a Tourbillon, available for $160,000, but it's limited to just 18 pieces, and as yet, I've not spotted one at the track. Now, have you worked out which 2 teams have not got watch sponsors? Because I'm getting to the end of my list. I can tell you it's not Alpine. They're sponsored by Bell & Ross. They're a French watchmaker, founded in 1992, so reasonably new, and the partnership between the two commenced in February 2021. What will you pay for one of these watches? Well, most are between $2,000 and $10,000. However, there are some limited edition models which command a significantly higher price. And like other brands, they've created a number of limited edition watches in partnership with their team, including this one and this one, both released to celebrate the launch of the Alpine A521 F1 car. Both watches designed to represent the Alpine's blue livery and limited to just 500 pieces each. Now, Esteban actually has a customised Bell & Ross to celebrate his Hungarian GP win. This is it. I took this picture at 3:36 on the 21st, but his watch says 5:39 on the 3rd. But it is his own watch. And if you're an Esteban fan, you'll definitely want one of these hand-signed and numbered prints of him on the podium after his Hungarian GP win. I'm recording this just prior to him signing them at the Australian Grand Prix, but they're limited to 50. You actually get a digital picture of him signing your individually numbered print, and that's for irrefutable proof of authenticity. Go to kimellman.com and order yours while you can still get your hands on one. So the 2 teams without sponsors are Haas and Towery. Now, Towery used to have Casio as a sponsor, but they fell off the bandwagon in 2021. This year, I've seen neither of the Towery drivers wearing a watch. Kevin Magnussen from Haas doesn't wear a watch, but Nico Hülkenberg has worn 2 different watches at the first 2 races. He turned up first in a Rolex Daytona, and at the second race in Saudi, he was wearing an Audemars Piguet. But he's after a watch sponsor, so if you're a watch manufacturer and you'd like to get in touch with Nico, send me an email at info@kimellman.com and I'll put you in touch with his promotional people, see if we can get your watch onto the wrist of Nico Hülkenberg. So that's all of the 10 teams covered. But wait, there's one more F1 watch sponsor, and that is Rolex. They've sponsored F1 for decades, and they've even sponsored a number of drivers and teams over the years. Jackie Stewart is a notable ambassador. He's often at the track touring around with Rolex customers, and he too has a huge Rolex collection. And did you know that they are a not-for-profit organisation? I have a number of Rolexes, and I think this one is my favourite. And while all of those companies make great watches that tell good time, nothing keeps the time as accurately as an iPhone. And look at that. It's now time to leave you. If you've enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so. About 50% of people that watch my videos haven't subscribed. Go figure. And become a member if you want a whole lot of extras. You'll find all of my digital images at prostarpics.com for a range of merchandise, signed drivers' pics, F1 photo books, and wall art. Go to kimillman.com. And for my best images live from the track and all during the week, go to Instagram and search @KimIllman. Thanks for watching and stay passionate. And while all of those companies make great watches that keep good time, no company makes a... Fucking hell, you must be getting sick of this, Jack.